Hey folks, today we've got the M2R Pro Warrior, another one of the latest offerings from Olight. This is a kind of tactical, perhaps EDC type design light with the stripe bezel on there and the tactical rear tail clicky, which also includes the Olight tail cap charging. Comes nicely boxed with, the manual, the lanyard, the charger, and a rather decent holster. I'll come back to that in a moment. Now the 21700s, they're kind of a little bit, or at least to us in the UK, a little bit of a newish type battery. So if I may, let me just quickly digress onto that. So we've got a 26650 here, we've got an 18650, and then the 21700 sat in the middle. And I think the idea behind the 21700, if we take sort of a everyday type carry light, such as this Warrior Mini running off a single 18650, if you wanted anything bigger, then you'd be kind of jumping to perhaps something like this running off a 26650. And as you can see, there's quite a significant difference. And this isn't slipping in your shirt pocket, is it? So the 21700 was a little bit of a compromise between those two, and has enabled a generation of lights, including this Olight here, to utilise that particular battery. Comparing it now against a what's normal? More usual EDC light. Yeah, there's a difference, isn't there? But it's not like jumping up to that big lump over there that we just looked at. So you're going to compromise a little bit on the size over, perhaps a normal EDC. But what you are going to get in return, and this is maybe considered to be a really, really good and fair trade, what you are going to get in return is being driven by the 21700. I'll show you what that equates to at the moment, and let's just finish off having a quick look at the M2R now. So we've got the tail clip that I mentioned there, where you can use the tactical mode and charge from. We've also got our side switch, which as usual with Olights now, it's one click on, one click off, and we can hold and cycle through our brightness modes. A double left click is turbo, and a triple left click, look away if you don't like strobes, is the strobe. So pretty usual layout. So let's have a look at its performance and perhaps get to the good bit. So when we're looking now at the 21700 powered light, and I'm going to start off on the high mode here at 750 lumens, 100% for 160 minutes, and then we're going to get a further 40 minutes at 34% thrown on the end there. So what's that, 2.5 hours, 2.6 hours at 750 lumens. I mean, that is phenomenal for an everyday carry light that's putting out very reasonable and respectable amount of output there, isn't it? 750 lumens for that runtime. That's the reason why the 21700 is gaining popularity. You can see the other modes there. I won't read through those, but you can see them. The other there is 1800 lumens for 4 minutes. Beg your pardon, 4.5 minutes. And then dropping to 42%. Now, a quick note on that. I've obviously used this light before tonight. And what I found was it gets hot. And it gets real hot and real quick to get hot as well. I was quite surprised. But with it being a tactical type light, there's some limitations there on the size of the head and the heat sinking. So be warned, it gets hot. I checked the power outputs when I got back as well after that, because I thought surely can't hold 1800 lumens for 4.5 minutes, given how hot it was getting, and it doesn't. It's from the moment you engage turbo, you will instantly feel the heat. And you probably won't notice it with your eye, but my lux meter certainly spotted it, is a slow but sure and steady decrease in output over the course of 4 minutes down to around the sort of 700, 750. So if you're expecting this light to hold 1800 lumens for 4 minutes, as it alludes to in the manual that it will, it won't. If that is of importance or consideration to you, be warned. Okay, just before we take him out, let's have a quick look at the very, very respectable and decent holster that it comes with. One of the belt clip things there where you don't have to take your belt off every time to put it on. Just clip there on the front. Attachment there. Yeah, you get the drift. Very, very nice and respectable holster. So let's take him out and see what it can do. Hi folks, so we're out with the M2R. Starting off on its highest mode at kind of close range. And then we cycle through. As you can see, this TIR lens, if that's the right terminology, is creating a really nice round and balanced spot for us. It's getting quite common, this type of lenses, and as we increase the distance, what isn't so common is for this type of lens. Apologies for this wind, I hope it's not spoiling the recording too much. Sorry, yeah, as I was saying, what isn't usual is this type of lens getting out into the distance just quite as well as this one in particular is, and that's your 750 lumen setting, which I hope you'll agree is pretty impressive, as is the runtime. What do we say, nearly 2.5 hours at 750 lumens and 3 hours at a little bit of a reduced power, 30%, something like that. And let's go up to turbo. As we can see now, that round spot is even more pronounced. So like I was saying, this roundish spot thing, yeah, that's pretty common. That's not common, going out to that kind of distance. I think we are losing a little bit of the peripheral spill, but not enough that would particularly concern me, and I don't think I've got a torch that uses this type of beam profile. Back onto a high turbo. Now, remember what I said about the turbo earlier on? Just while I'm talking, I can feel the heat now starting to build up, and it's probably imperceptible to my eyes at the moment, but it will be slowly starting to ramp itself down over the course of the next 4 minutes, depending on how hot it's getting it. Might do a little bit better when we've been outside with this wind and cold, but I think your 750, that this is where this torch, at least to me, really starts to show itself, doesn't it? 750 lumens, 3 hours run time with that. Well, to me, a matter of preference, but to me a really, really nice beam profile. And the turbo thing doesn't particularly bother me, other than the principle of I wish they'd have said so in the manual. So again, a warning, if you're going to buy this torch and you think that it's going to hold 1800 lumens for 4.5 minutes, it's not. Okay, let's move on and try and get a little bit more distance on. Quite a bit further on now, folks, with the M2R. This is its highest mode. And just before I've started filming this, I've been messing about with the camera, and this torch is really, really throwing it. I either overexpose or underexpose on the highest mode or the turbo mode when I start changing distances and stuff like that. So I'm going to try and adjust it on the fly. Obviously I set this normally before I start filming, because at the moment that looks right, but that now is overexposing. If I just make it look, yeah, that's probably about right. But then if I go back to my high mode, that's now underexposing. So bear with me, I'm going to have to adjust this on the fly. So that's our high. As you can see, very, very respectable. What I was mentioning earlier on, that's very usable. And our turbo, let me just get that. Yeah, that's about right. About, is it? No, there. That's about right with what I'm seeing. Great. I don't know why this particular torch has thrown my camera so much. It wasn't throwing it where I was before, but it is here. I think it's all these trees and whatnot around me. Anyway, let's throw some distance on it and let the camera throw me even more. So that's on our high mode now, and now that is underexposed. There we go. So that's 100 meters on our high mode, those two trees, and as you can see it's doing that distance no problem at all. And we can move back again. Now if I put turbo on, now it's going to overexpose, so let me just, there we go. I'm really sorry about that, folks. The camera just doesn't seem to like this particular torch switching from high to turbo, so you can get a feel of the difference between the two. I'm having to manually adjust in between, and I'm also jigging around as well. I'm conscious of the fact that it's only going to hold its turbo for about 60 seconds before it starts to tail off. But I think that's a pretty accurate representation now of what I'm seeing, moving out to 150 meters, something like that. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? I was a bit sceptical of the 300 meter claim and the manual, but hang on, going down to that far corner there, I don't think it's going to smash 300 meters. I mean, that's 150 and it's doing it, so probably. Okay, I think I've covered just about everything you would need or like to know about this torch. I'll catch you soon, folks. So what I'm going to do here, folks, well, is first of all, let's take the temperature, the light, there we go, and I've got my timer and my lux meter. And let's just zoom in a bit so you can see the reading on the lux meter, and we'll turn the M2R on its high mode, and our lux meter is reading 78.979, thereabouts. And what I'm going to do that now is pop him onto turbo, clear that, click start, and we can see now we've got a reading of 129 thereabouts, 128.7, and we'll see how long of those 4 minutes on turbo does it actually hold. Check the temperature, 40 seconds in, 55 seconds. So you can see what I mean by it getting warm, particularly around the head. 124 still on the lux meter, so it's holding. 1 minute in, we're holding. Two minutes in, and our reading on the lux meter is 112 from 128. 53 on the head, a little bit lower around the button there, 44. Whoa, that is, well, that's hot. We've dropped now to 104 on the lux meter from 128, so we're 2 minutes 30 in. What have we lost there? About 20% of its output. Up to 3 minutes now at 100. 99 on the lux meter. So when did that start to drop? It's going quite quickly now, isn't it? Down to 96. Bear in mind the 100%, the highest non-turbo power, we started off at 79. 3 minutes in, 93. Really starting to lose its output now, aren't we? Let me check the temperature. Three minutes 40. Okay, so what's happened there then is that the maximum output of 1800 lumens will slowly but surely drop, and we see more or less now on 4 minutes we're down to where we started at high. We started at 79, didn't we, thereabouts? It's just dropping a little bit more now. Oh, let me zoom out again. What temperature are we on? 44 as it starts to drop that temperature now. So 4 minutes 23. So yeah, it's from turbo at 1800 lumens, excuse me, which as you can see it doesn't hold for 4 minutes. It gradually backs off back down to its 100%, not turbo 100%, at roughly 4 minutes.